Hello everyone, my name is Tahukan. I was really excited for Brightburn, but unfortunately, as with many things in my life that I'm excited for, I ended up being very disappointed. Brightburn's premise is simple. Bad Clark Kent, Superman. It's not explicitly stated, but all the aspects are present intentionally. And Brightburn had been planned to be announced at San Diego Comic-Con 2018, so I imagine they would have said something there. But it was pulled literally last minute due to controversy over James Gunn at the time. I'll admit that because of James Gunn's involvement, my interest to it had been piqued more than it probably should have been. That being said, my disappointment with Brightburn is more rooted in the sheer buffoonery of it, less so than just an emotional reaction to it, which I try never to apply into these reviews as often as I can. Some things you can't really. Red Sparrow exists. It's a war crime. Who can help it? Brightburn is written by Brian and Mark Gunn, one the cousin of James Gunn and the other his brother, and directed by David Yarovesky. I will talk about the plot in broad detail, no explicit spoilers throughout the story segment of this video, but later on I will talk about the ending and some spoilers throughout the movie. That'll have a spoiler warning at the end, so don't worry, you can skip it, you can watch this video safely, or you can watch it all the way through if you don't give a shit. It's up to you. So, you do you, man. Brightburn takes place in the town of Brightburn, Kansas, and follows the Breyer family, the counterpart of the Kents in this extreme deviation from the Superman origin we all know. Baby crashes in a spaceship, adopted by parents, develops powers. In this case, however, Clark Kent's counterpart, Brandon Breyer, doesn't develop any abilities until he turns 12, and he doesn't know he's not human. This is the catalyst for why Brandon goes down a far, far darker path than Clark Kent ever did. Betrayal. I do want to be clear, I kind of hate that. I hate when it's just a goddamn misunderstanding or lapse in judgments that's the root of it all. Especially in this one, because the betrayal of it all, it came from a place of explicit love and protection, and not like overprotection like crazy parents. Like, this kid just has normal fucking parents. Now, yes, of course, Tahu, don't be pretentious. He has to be bad, but I can't help thinking it would have been, a lot better if it weren't a perfect family. Like, fucking anything, any sort of strife, maybe his dad hits him on the head a couple times, maybe his dad insults him, maybe his mom, is really overprotective, I don't know, hell, uses his laser vision to heat up popcorn, who the fuck, anything. And that's my biggest complaint with Brightburn, is that it is just so simple. There's no overarching, deepening plot. There's nothing that really goes below surface level. It just is. What you're seeing is really all there is to dive into. The most you're going to actually dive into, theorization-wise or wondering-wise, which is, I think, a great contributor to why horror movies have such large audiences, is the mystery of, say, Michael Myers, or how is Jason going to die and come back to life next? Stuff like that is this kind of lore we don't fully understand that you piece together from movie to movie. And this is one movie. I'm not going to try and compare a franchise to this. There is a different way they have to go about it, but the way they went about it with this one, where there's just nothing, is disappointing. Anyway, the kill count for this movie is surprisingly mediocre. It was advertised as a horror movie, it was teased for far longer as one, and I'd still consider it one, but it's kind of lax on the whole killing. Of course, as I'm about to get into, the kills were good for the most part. They weren't just kills for the sake of it, like Friday the 13th, where you've got X amount of people and they're all going to get fucked off in some way. This way, there was at least some reasoning to it, and that was good. Just wish there was more reasoning as a whole to the whole movie. Now, as I said, the foundation of this movie is too simple. It's just superpowered alien is bad, and there's nothing below surface level there. But to play devil's advocate to myself, it's so simple, it also can't hurt itself by going too far. Instead, it's just a very plain story holding together some better things, and your enjoyment largely decides how detrimental the plot is to you. Now, let's take a look at the happier good parts. Alright, baby. Alright, so the kills in Brightburn, though incredibly sparing, are glorious. Absolutely chilling, and they're fucking disgusting. For a movie that was shot for just over 2 months and had only a $6 million budget, the effects are it's fucking phenomenal. The kills are also very inventive for the most part. Like, it's not just that they look great, because there's plenty of ways to make kills look great. They've done it for decades, but I think it's fair to say that for nearly every single kill in the movie, the entire audience, myself included, shuddered or screamed at some point. And I know for a fact, I saw some grown-ass men cover their eyes in fear. So that's another thing to take into account, because I know some people see horror movies just for violence or to be spooked and shit like that. That's fine. So if that is just what you're after, great kills, that would definitely satisfy your want for some nice gory kills. Now, the spoilers. Let's talk about this one. If you do not want to hear the ending to Brightburn, skip to the timestamp on screen right now. Okay, you ready? See those numbers? Let's go. The ending ruined this movie for me. I don't know, maybe I rewatch it, might be a little bit better. I'm sitting there just fucking around with some friends. Maybe I can enjoy it more. Okay, so that scene in Die Hard, where, you know, Hans Gruber's falling off Nakatomi Plaza, you know, he's got his arms out, That's what happens at the end of Brightburn. The boy Brandon lifts his mother, Tori, played by Elizabeth Banks, up into the sky, holds her tight, and then drops her. And she does the Hans Gruber fall in slow motion, cutting between her falling and Brandon's steely-eyed face not giving a goddamn shit. It feels like an eternity. The scene just goes on and on. I can't honestly remember if there was music or not. I think it was just like dead silence. And then right after that, he throws a plane into their house, or it's implied he does at least. And you know, there's a little bit of more padding there. And then the final shot is Brandon eating a cookie in an ambulance, while, you know, news coverage is saying there's only one survivor of a terrifying plane crash on a small farm in Brightburn, Kansas. And you know, he's eating that cookie, and Billie fucking Eilish, says, "I'm the bad guy." And then it just shows found footage of his later exploits of terror while Billie Eilish's bad guy starts playing. I cannot say in words how upsetting that sequence was to me. I kind of thought the Billie Eilish thing fit with it. It's definitely a James Gunn thing to do, and it fits since his brother and cousin wrote this movie, but it is such a fucking mindfuck when you go from Hans Gruber falling, plane crashed in home, eating cookie, to Billie fucking Eilish saying, "I'm the bad guy," as it goes to an Alex Jones parody, played by Michael Rooker. So you see, the twist of Brightburn is that there is no twist. The kid wins, everybody trying to fight him loses. Granted, only 2 people try and fight him, so the kid goes unpunished. I think it would have worked if there was anything to contribute to his thought process other than, normal happy kid just goes psycho because he heard alien voices telling him to take the world. Horror doesn't have to be complex. I'm not trying to gatekeep what's good horror or not. God knows I'm nowhere near qualified enough to gatekeep that type of thing. The bar can be very low for what makes good horror, but that does not at all mean that just because it hit the marks it set out to, it's a masterpiece, or that every single one that hits it is an instant okay in my book. You can tie up every plot point in the last 20 minutes, that's fine. That makes it not that great of a movie in my opinion though. And I don't mean, you know, just it solves everything in the last 20 minutes. Specifically, the problem is the way it all rushes into coming home. The rushing really starts about the last 25 minutes, I believe. And it's when Elizabeth Banks' character Tori finds out that her son actually did kill, at that point, 2 people. See, Bizarro Superman Boy had been leaving his symbol around, which is 2 diamonds with a line through it. So the sheriff eventually notices both symbols at both crimes. One, however, is a kidnapping, mind you, and the other made to look like a car accident. So he sees these 2 symbols, and the sheriff gets a random aha moment. So he naturally drives to the Briar's home and confronts Tori, saying it looks like a back-to-back B. He thinks it could be Brandon Briar. He thinks a 12-year-old kid killed 2 people because he found 2 diamonds with a line through it that he thinks represents the double B in the name Brandon Briar. Let that sink in. That's how this movie explains that. And, you know, to build on top of that, I don't like when the only purpose of cops is to explain a plot and push it to develop faster. I just don't. 99% of the time, it's fucking lazy. I liked Cold Pursuit, but I'll be honest, the cops in it were just fucking exposition. It was done a bit better, but it was an issue that I noticed as I left the movie. It's a lazy thing to do when you reach a certain point in a movie. And granted, yeah, I haven't wrote a movie. You can full on call me out on that in the comments, but it doesn't change this type of writing. It doesn't make sense. The cop had literally no way to know this. And it's not me being pretentious. There's just no fucking way. The sheriff isn't a fucking psychic. Who the hell looks at this symbol and thinks, oh yeah, that definitely, that damn 12-year-old. Kid's crazy. Only person with a B first name and B last name in this town too. It's definitely this fucking kid. If it was longer, I think it definitely could have done this a lot better and it wouldn't have been a problem. But the problem is because they didn't go deeper. They didn't go below surface level. See, his parents don't even know until like 40 minutes in that he's got actual fucking powers. Like, they think he's just fucking normal. So we're talking like, this movie gets substantially in before they realize their kid that came out of a goddamn spaceship might actually have some powers. So, to wrap it up, Brightburn is disappointing. It's very B tier in my opinion, and I think it did too little with the concept it had. This could honestly just be because it had a $6 million budget. In any case, given that it looks great, it's not a slog of a movie to endure. Frankly, you don't have to endure it, you're enjoying it. The ending was just really unfulfilling for me despite the great visuals and good acting. I give Brightburn a 5. More metered than my original reaction to the movie was. I was pretty heated about it. But it's more fair and it's more appropriate. It did some beautiful things, but feels like a movie out of time with how simplistic the plot is. If you've seen Brightburn, let me know what you think, and more importantly, please comment below letting me know what you think of my videos being like this from now on. More in-depth, more explanatory, longer in length, informative, and hopefully more enjoyable. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you like the video and you would like to see more like it in the future. You can also join my Discord to chat with me, or check out my Letterboxd account to see all of my ratings for movies as a whole. If you'd like to help support me making more videos like this, since YouTube has unfairly demonetized me, which I've chronicled if you'd care to check that out, you can visit my Patreon or merch store. Maybe I'm partial, but I personally love my merch designs. Why don't you go check them out, you know, if you want. So, thank you everybody for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Actually, I'll see you in a week and a half because I'm going on vacation, so I'll see you then. Huge thank you to Patreon supporters Anonymous and Math Porter. I truly appreciate it.